There's some sheep and they were naughty, and we had to watch
Hey,
this
hey, hey,
movie,
hey.
even though
We're
we
not in a
kind of
diner.
hate it.
We're not in a diner.
Let's roll
I'm
all the
trying not.
songs and then get into this movie.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tomb of the Terrible. I am your Uncle Necro, and tonight I am joined by, these guys. We have Del, and we have Ron, and we have Tom Dog saying hello, and then Friday and Chaos down underneath me for some strange reason.
Let us out of the basement!
Yeah. Oh. Whoa! How's everybody doing?
Shut up and get back in your box.
I'm good. My sister
Doing
said
good.
to tell Belle that she has wool dreads. Does that count?
Sure.
I'm feeling
Any
rather
wool
sheepish.
counts. Oh boy, Ratatosker's drinking moonshine.
I was trying to get away from having to do this episode tonight. I was trying to run and go on the lam.
I'm feeling rather bashful myself.
You know, had I known all the sheep puns were going to happen, I never would have asked. So, which, you know, it's apropos because tonight we are discussing the 2006 New Zealand horror comedy that is Black Sheep, not to be confused with the Chris Farley comedy of the 90s. This is written, directed by one Jonathan King. When sheepophobic Henry returns to sell his share of the family farm, he finds his brother has been genetically altering the animals. The resulting monsters go on a murderous rampage, and it's up to Henry to stop them. Now, as is our tradition here at the Tomb, we start off with the question, was this your first time watching the movie or not? So, Del?
First time.
Okay.
And I also would like to apologize for labeling it as 2007. It just happened. So, yeah, first time for both of us.
Chaos, you've seen this before this time around? And when did you see it first?
I picked it up at a movie rental place about 2007.
Okay. I pretty much rented it once I realized that it came out back in 2006. It was one of those things where, again, I was perusing the family video and I was looking at the new release shelf and saw that, read the back, and thought, this is going to be my movie tonight. What's not to love? Yeah. I mean, I think tonight we're going to find out if there is anything not to love about it, but that's going to come up here in a little bit later. So we'll go ahead and move on to what we did like about the movie. So, Del?
Well, when I was a child, when people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would always say a sheep farmer in Australia. Now, this is not Australia, but it is close. And now that I've seen it, I no longer want to raise sheep. But, so that was a lesson for me. I do enjoy sheep. Sheep are cute. They are fluffy. They are stupid and annoying in most cases since I've learned. That's why I want to go with goats now. Goats are smarter. I liked the sheep dog and the little training things. I liked watching the sheep. I liked watching the taxi driver. I know that was kind of a minimum thing. And I don't know. I'd been waiting to see this movie. I just completely forgot it existed. So overall, I didn't hate it, which means that I liked it somewhat. There just weren't really. I liked all the herds of sheep come flying. I loved the jumping sheep when they would attack. The attack sheep, the jumping sheep. That was awesome. And the special effects, they used a lot of practical special effects, and just with camera angles made it so you couldn't see if they were good or bad. If it was a really good one, they were like, ooh, look at that blood spray and stuff going. And if it was kind of bad, they're like, okay, but we'll kind of pan it so that you can't really focus on it, but it still looks good. So those are the things that I enjoyed about this movie.
Cool. Friday?
I've been trying to figure out how to answer this question because I don't hate the movie. It's a matter of I really like that it was better done than a few of our movies. I like the sheep, that they actually made the transitions from person to sheep and back kind of believable. And it had an actual storyline that made sense in a way.
Yeah.
Because we've had a lot of movies that really didn't have understandable storylines.
Good point.
This is very true. So, Chaos, what did you like about the movie?
Oh. Just all the random goofy ass moments. It's hard to pick just little ones here and there. But I like the little the friend of his who gets bitten, who starts to turn first. Just the way he acts and shit. Yeah, Tucker. I don't know why I keep forgetting his freaking name. But
Tucker and Dale versus sheep.
That and how goofy the environmentalists are.
Yeah. Is that everything for you?
Yeah.
Everything? Okay.
For the moment.
See, tonight, I think we all feel kind of tired over the past week. I know I am, but we're going to make it through here, people. Do it for the sheep. Do it for New Zealand. Do it for those Australian breakdancers. Anyway, Ron, what did you like about this movie?
I am tired, just like the rest of us, but I will power through this by sheer determination.
Yeah. People.
My
Anyway.
my first reaction to this movie is I actually did not know what to think, because I honestly did not know what the movie was going to be about, just other than our last episode when I think Raz asked, "Do you like sheep buggery?" And okay, but I still really had no idea what the movie was going to be like or what it was going to be about. So when I started watching it, it took me a little bit to kind of get into it. Then after I was watching it for a bit, it really reminded me of the Alex Winter movie that we talked about on here, Freaked, which I had a brain fart and I could not remember the name of the movie, so I had to look it up real quick. I feel like they both run somewhat in the same vein, but they were executed very differently. Whereas Freaked deals with a lot of visual gags and script gags. This one was played more like a straight horror movie, but because of the subject matter of it, it really runs into that could be inane comedy, and it just never plays out as inane comedy, which I really kind of like that they kept it pure, they kept it straight, they tried to keep it as a general horror type movie. I like the storyline. They say, okay, here's the line, now let's tiptoe across it, but never really just completely erase that motherfucker. They just kind of step over the boundary, maybe step back a little bit, step over the boundary, step back a little bit. And then as the movie goes on, that line keeps getting pushed out a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So I really like the way that they actually played with that. It starts out somewhat tame, and then by the end of the movie, it's a fucking free-for-all. And I just thought that was great, the way that they handled it.
Yeah. I myself rewatching this, and I think we all of us here had to pay like the rental fee to actually watch it. There didn't seem to be any place to stream it for free, which is odd. I've seen it before, years in the past, where it would stream for free, but apparently not now. So I had to rent it from Amazon Prime myself, but I'm glad I did, simply because, first of all, this is a great use of practical effects and actual sheep. And for some reason, I mean, it's kind of a comedic way that they do it, but they do kind of make sheep kind of menacing looking at certain points. The way they just stand there and stare at you, chewing their cud, making you wonder what's going through their little brains. And also, there is sheep buggery implied. It's never shown. Just a little bit of a warning if you're ever, I guess, triggered by that kind of thing. However, I enjoyed the fact that, okay, one of the characters, I forget what her name was. It was a hippie name.
Experience.
Experience, that's right. I like the fact that she started off as somebody who is always on, and by that I mean there's a scene where they're staring over the cliff where their vehicle had just run off of because it was being driven by one of the sheep, and they asked what. Some of them, one asks, "What do we do now?" Then she launches into a discussion about how to prevent greenhouse gases and global warming, that kind of thing. when they were obviously talking about how to get from there back to the house without encountering any of the infected sheep. Hello.
It's
Hello,
our
Mana.
adventure heroine, Jade Longwalker.
Yes.
Yay!
So, yeah, it's the comedy itself is it's not over the top per se, but it does get kind of I guess I would say New Zealandish, because a lot of this you might remember you might remember Dead Alive by Paul Jackson.
Yeah.
I think so.
Am I getting his name wrong? Yeah, Peter Jackson. That's it. Oh my gosh. Please forgive me. I forgot about the director of Lord of the Rings.
Before he was the director of Lord of the Rings.
Yes. It had that
You're
certain
grounded.
vibe. What am I going to do? Leave the house? I'll just wheel my way
None of
out.
us want to do that anyway.
Yeah. And I do agree that the storyline is it flows pretty well. It all takes place in a day. And quite frankly, as I mentioned before the show, all of this could have just been avoided if that damn hippie just left things alone, didn't try to steal that canister. Bastard. So anyway.
Yes.
Now, I do want to disclose a disclaimer here. We are not, actively anti-hippie. So if you happen to be a hippie, you're always welcome here. We're talking about the one in the movie. He's dead for a reason.
Yes.
Oh,
Grant was a shit.
Indeed. So moving along,
Not dead.
what didn't we like about this movie? So Del, go ahead.
Let's see.
Sheep.
What didn't I
Sheep.
like?
I'm cute and stupid.
That sheep
Are
is
you
staring
food?
into my soul. Take it away.
Are
Take
you
it
I
away.
love that sheep.
Stop looking at me like that. No.
My favorite
you
sheep
food?
GIF ever. That's
Are
one
you
of the
food?
gifts that I have on my Kindle, so that if somebody says something stupid to me, I can just pull it up and just aim the Kindle at them. I have that and the staring llama and a couple others. I know I have a slow clap too. But no, the things that I did not like about this movie, I said pre-show, I have a lot of friends who are from New Zealand, and not a lot, but more friends from New Zealand than say Japan, and they are constantly called sheep buggers and things. And this was made in New Zealand, and the little hinty jokes and the little ha-has, there was what about the sheep? Fuck the sheep. No time for that, bro. Go, go, go. That had me giggling. I was like, okay, that's really cute. But then they actually got to the point where they have a guy oh, my darling, with this sheep. And then a couple of minutes later, people walk in and he's not wearing pants. And I was like, did we have to cross the line? Yeah.
Yes.
There was a line there that it was amusing and not just wow. And so I'm like, I wish we could have stuck with just the amusing little jokes before going into, by the way, yes, we are definitely, for those of you that are exceptionally slow, implying that this man, well, not that man, this man does indeed have sex with sheep. We just want to make sure you know that, because you might have missed it if you didn't get the joke. Yeah, so that, overall, I thought it was pretty decent, but that in particular was the thing that kind of lost it for me. Everything else was fine. Ovinophobia, by the way, is the fear of sheep. And in case you've been playing Spelling Bee for New York Times, yes, ovine is a word that counts in that. So I used that this past week, oddly enough. But yes, that was what really bothered me. And I know that it wouldn't bother most people, and they were playing it to most people, but that was the thing where I was just like, they went over the top. But okay.
Yeah. That did kind of remind me of that NoFX album cover. Nothing. Nobody listens. Okay. Anyway,
Like, what?
Google it. So, okay, Friday. What didn't you like about the movie?
I can't find anything I overly disliked, but also it's not my favorite movie either, so I don't have a list. So pick somebody else.
Fair enough.
Okay, Chaos. What didn't you like about the movie?
The guy hippie lived.
Yeah. Grant.
Okay.
They saved him. That was my biggest issue. Grant lived.
Okay, well,
Wow.
that brings us to Ron. What didn't you like about the movie, Ron?
Considering the fact that this movie has been out for 18 years, and I could not find it on a free streaming site, makes me feel like they were trying to fleece me out of my money, he said with a sheepish grin. But thankfully, the movie was somewhat
Okay,
enjoyable.
Stop.
What? Okay. Anyway, anywho's, yeah. Since the movie was rather enjoyable. The thing that I really did not like about it was experience. I did not like her character to begin with. They leaned in a little bit too hard to the whole hippie saving the environment, saving the animals thing a little too much. And I don't like it when movies get preachy on any given topic unless it's a movie that's specifically meant to be that way. And this one was not. It's supposed to be about the horror. So to me, it felt like, okay, we need a reason for these events to unfold. How can we make this happen? Well, what if we do this? They're grasping at straws or trying to come up with ideas, and this is the best that they can do. That's how they wanted to start all these events. Out of all of the ways that this could have happened, it could have been an accident in the lab that caused all of these mutated sheep to get loose, and then suddenly you've got a Night of the Lepus on your hands. And I think that would have been appropriate. You could have done some homage or callbacks to other movies, and the ending result would still have been the same. I think there are better ways that they could have handled it, but it did not turn out that way. They only used it to set it up. But as the movie went on, Experience's character started changing, and she wasn't so much about the hippie and saving the sheep and saving the environment and all that kind of stuff. After she has some experiences with these sheep and realizes that maybe her way is not quite the right way. So since she does kind of have a little bit of a character arc, I felt it sort of redeemed that a little bit. And she and what was the Henry were about the only people in the movie who actually had any kind of character arc. We started out with Henry being afraid of sheep because of something that happened to him when he was a kid, some traumatic event. But then he overcomes that fear, and you can see that he has definitely changed by the end of the movie. So I felt like they handled that well. So I'm glad that the movie did not end with the same way that it started. Now, another thing that I didn't like, I probably would have put this movie a little bit out of timeline a little bit, or I would have changed some events around, not put it out of timeline, but I would have changed some events around where you start out with Henry coming to his family's estate and the whole gag with the meter running on the cab and all of that, which I thought was pretty funny. Just completely forget about that guy, you know. I would have actually started the movie with Experience and Grant breaking into the research laboratory to steal the evidence, and then them trying to run through the woods to escape. Then cut to Henry arriving on the family estate to confront his brother. So that way, you know, something has happened. When are we going to get back to it? That way you would have set up a little bit of suspense for the rest of the movie to happen. And I think that way it would have made a little bit more sense and played into that. We still don't know what's going on, but we know something has happened. I would have liked to have seen that. Maybe some of the events played out that way. But other than that, I mean, I thought that they handled the movie pretty well from start to finish.
Okay. There is a small, I guess I wouldn't really call it a problem that I had with the movie. It's just that at the beginning, we have, after the flashback where young Henry is traumatized pretty greatly by both being scared by his sociopathic older brother wearing the skin of his beloved sheep to scare him in the barn, and then finding out that his father died from an accident, and then coming back years later to sell his share of the farm. And he gets a pretty substantial chunk of change. He's written out a check. They got everything that they needed. I would have pocketed the money and went, well, see you later, and not really thought, oh, I should take my part of the farm back. I would have just gotten back into that cab, because time is money, people, and just taken off. I would have been out of there. Sure, I would have missed a lot of things about the farm, but I've got a life now, and this money is going to help me out. Thanks, brother. All the problems are yours now. Would have made for a very, very short movie if this was all from his point of view, but it would have saved a lot of cleanup. Let me tell you.
That may have been Henry's original
now, I am wondering
plan.
about, he got what? Excess of $2 million?
Yeah, $2 million.
$2 million.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking that may have been Henry's plan to
was
take
that
the money and run.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Mack.
Well, I'm wondering, is that like American dollars?
I would imagine New Zealand
I
dollars.
will check.
I can't imagine the exchange rates much.
Or was that like
different?
Are they on the euro in New Zealand?
I don't think so.
Or is that something different? Okay. But yeah, I'm, there's a lot of things in movies like this where if they didn't do one thing, all of this could have been avoided. I would have just left with the money because. Go ahead.
Currently, New Zealand dollar equals 0.62 United States dollars. So the $2 million in New Zealand money would be equal to $1.24 million in the United States.
That's still a pretty good chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah. And of course, my problem stems from. Yes.
He was blindsided by the house lady the one that was making the haggis, because I think he was set to leave. And she's like, "We're going to take you up to the top of the mountain to go see your brother," and that's when Tucker came in. So I don't think he really had a choice in the matter, not according to her. So he didn't get a chance to leave.
Well, everybody has a choice.
He was overwhelmed by a woman who makes haggis and
I mean,
guts rabbits.
Could have. Yeah, she was probably like a grandmother. He was showing respect, which is something I would not have had a problem with. I just would have said, "Look, the meter's running. I gotta go. I'll see you at Christmas." So
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't come back.
In any case, true. I'm just saying, But at this point, we're going to pause for a few minutes and pay some bills. And hopefully this, by the time we get back, we're going to give some rating reviews and read some 5-star reviews and various other things. So let's go ahead and roll the thing.
Greetings and shabebans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Reductibus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And one thing about the Tomb of the Terrible, we are a affiliate, the Owlite Network affiliated show, and I bring that up because we got a couple of books featuring some writers from the Owlite Network. We have the Owlite Menagerie, who wants to talk about that.
It is a wonderful book about
Nobody?
multiple different things. Owls and mice having a fight of who gets to live, and other things happening in the background. You'll have to find out about that. There's this story where you meet an angel who decides to fix the problem not the way the guy had hoped. A wonderful story about an arcade and a game that was actually looked like it'd be pretty fun and scary at the same time. And a haunted house with 3 different hauntings happening at once. So
Ooh.
you can check out all of those written by us and many, many more. And all the proceeds for the first year goes to pro literacy. Every adult has the right to literacy. Even if you just make a donation to them, we'll be grateful. But if you buy our book, they still get the proceeds, and you get some awesome stories by some great people, as well as Steve Van Sampson, Raz Slasher, Curtis M. Lawson, and Rob Smales.
And others. It is a great book, and it is on sale now. Pretty much anywhere books are on sale. You can go grab yourself a Kindle. You can order yourself a hardback or a paperback, and we're on shelves at different places as well. And we've been at cons already, so yeah. We also just recently got out More Lore from the Mythos. Volume 1 has been re-released, and it's gorgeous. That book on the side there, this is what the foiling looks like and stuff. The Kickstarter just finished up. We made over $4,500. If you did not catch last night's show, Raz dressed up in a tutu and danced and also sang things to SpongeBob wearing a helmet, or sang things as SpongeBob wearing a helmet, to celebrate the Kickstarter. We will have More Lore Volume 2 coming out soon, but now you can pick up More Lore Volume 1, the extra special edition, wherever books are sold. And it's all Lovecraftian inspired works. So you'll find, I believe, 14 different great storytellers in there. It's wonderful. So
Nifty.
with that, to add
Very
to your reading lists.
And there's one
Yes.
more anthology.
Do you want to grab it?
Yes, give me a second to find it. And our
Okay.
newest Fae Core anthology is Nightmare Whispers. You'll find the sequel to Mr. Jones and Me, Mr. Jones and You. You do remember him, don't you? And you'll find art by my kid and I. We wrote a spider poem together and made art. And so many more amazing poems and stories that I still need to read and make commercials for. I just got the whole thing myself. So yeah, please go check it out. I promise you it's going to be so awesome.
Very nice. Very nice. We get
Awesome.
we got stories
good to
coming
see-
your way, folks.
Good to see the full picture without the spiders.
And we
Oh,
could
yeah.
probably put in an honorable mention for Fae Propaganda, which released earlier this year.
Oh yeah. Oh, and don't forget, there is one story that we've already read by Uncle James, and a new story by UncleNecRo. I mean, Uncle James, UncleNecRo. He's both.
Uncle James.
So please,
I've been
you
called
also
both.
have to get his stories.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
you know it's with love, I promise.
And
Or else I
from-
wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy you. And did you
of
want to
course.
tell us about Fae Propaganda, Ron?
Oh, Fae Propaganda released earlier this year, and just as Owlite Menagerie was themed and Nightmare Whiskers is also themed, Fae Propaganda is dealing with all things Fae and what kind of little trickery and shenanigans those little buggers can get into. lot of the people that have submitted stories for Owlite Menagerie and Nightmare Whiskers can also be found in Fey Propaganda as well. So it is also currently available wherever books are sold. You can get your Kindle version released on that as well. And just keep up with all of Owlite Network's authors and get a good introduction to Fey Core Publishing as a whole, and keep up with the rest of us.
Yep, yep.
Okay. All right, we have come to the part of the night where we give our ratings and recommendations on Black Sheep. So we're going to start with Del. What do you give this out of 10, and would you recommend it to anybody else?
This one I'm going to go with a 6 out of 10 on. It didn't really overwhelm me, but it was an okay movie. I said the only part that really upset me, but yeah, I would recommend this to some people, not like my mom, but like younger folks and people who have my general taste in movies. Yeah, I would recommend this.
Okay. All right, Friday.
Well, considering my husband did recommend it to begin with, we all know he will and has and did. But I give it a 7 because it was pretty good.
Okay.
I'll recommend it to people who have our general taste collectively.
Yeah. And Chaos?
Well, as Friday is stated, I obviously did recommend it. And I'd give it about a 7.
Okay.
Because, yeah, there are better movies out there, but this one was punny.
Yeah. In no manner of speaking.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of puns, Ron, what would you give us?
I got to do it. In terms of a lot of movies that we watched, this one wasn't so bad. I am actually with Dell on this one. I will also give it a 6, and basically for the same reason, because it didn't really overwhelm me, but it was still an enjoyable watch. And keep in mind, a 6 is still higher than I gave House of the Dead, which I gave a 5. So this one was marginally more entertaining than that movie, I think, just because of the subject content of it and the way that they were constantly pushing the line. So I did enjoy that. Would I recommend it? Not to every audience, but I do believe that there is a select audience that I could recommend it to, and it would largely be haunter people that I know, because this would seem to be right up their alley with their sick and demented, twisted senses of humor. So if you like sick and demented and twisted shit, then this would definitely be a movie for you to watch, and that's me recommending it. To find a point on it.
Okay. Well, I would give this movie a 6 as well. It was a good movie, good, solidly made movie. It plays on my mind simply because of the Were Sheep. It's the only one that I can think of that features Were Sheep in it. And as far as recommending it, again, I'm kind of with you guys about not recommending it to just anybody, but I have recommended it to somebody who just, asked. I'm pretty sure they weren't even serious about the question, but is there like a Were Sheep kind of movie? And I went, step right there. Have I got a movie for you? So, with that thought in mind, we are going to move now to the 5-star reviews on the Amazons, find out what other people may have thought. We will start with I Know About Your Franken Sheep. The idea of killer sheep is hilarious. In this case, they are helped into their state of unrest by genetic experiments. They go from vegetarians to hungry carnivores, and those they bite and don't swallow, they infect. People quickly transform into half-sheep monstrosities or were-sheep. No one is safe. I love horror movies in general, love horror movies featuring rampaging animals out to kill everyone in their path. This one meets both of those needs and trumps it with a lot of macabre humor. If you like horror movies that are slightly twisted, try this one. It is a hoot and a half. I know that's an owl reference, but still.
Wrong pun.
Next one.
Right.
You're right. Yeah. Next one is titled Lamb Chops Anyone. This is the best horror comedy I've seen for a while. I had expected a cheesy B movie with the found myself laughing out loud at the main character and his sidekicks. I like the fact that we didn't have to wait through 30 or 40 minutes getting to know the characters. This, to me, is a big waste of gore time. I see. And then we're going to end on this. I love this film. Man eating sheep. Were sheep. A blast to watch and rather gory. This is a gem for a horror collection. This movie is played straight with only a moment or two that could be even considered funny. What does that mean? One bother after being tormented by the older brother, and one bother? I think he meant brother. And he goes into that. Certainly cool movie and fun to watch. Okay.
It is the best ovinothropic movie I have ever seen.
I think that what the person said, lamb chops anyone,
that is a big
is
word.
actually a really good synopsis of this movie. Lamb chops anyone. Lamb chops this person. Lamb chops that person. Lamb chops all the people.
No, that's lamb chomps.
Well, that too.
My impression of a sheep.
Okay. I think this past week is really getting to a lot of people. I don't know about you guys, but it is an inferno out there here in my state of Nebraska. And I don't know if it's affecting our brains, but we are going to go ahead and get to the Wheel of the Terrible.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Read now.
Are we ready, everybody?
We're ready if you are.
Are you ready? I can't hear you.
I really want to tackle the tomatoes. Cannibal musical would be good too.
Singing.
Well, not as good as the other two though. And it's
Cannibal the musical.
Okay. Full disclosure. I have Cannibal the musical on DVD.
Nice.
Wow.
Finally
We
added
so
theater.
We added 2 more films to the wheel and still landed on Cannibal the musical.
That was going to be the only one on the wheel, but we are going to be bringing you the Catch 'em, Kill 'em, Catch 'em, Kill 'em, Catch 'em, Kill 'em Amityville fall season, where all of the movies are different ripoffs of the Amityville horror with Amityville in the name. No, we are not doing the naughty one. We will be getting you things like Amityville Karen and some other just terrible. Check it out. Look it up. There are like hundreds of Amityville spawned movies that are equally terrible. So we're super excited about that. Yeah, like so, it goes from people going back to Amityville to somebody whose father worked on the construction site at Amityville and brought a 2x4 home, which somehow made the horror infect his family. And he drinks clear Jägermeister, which makes no sense whatsoever. But I'll bitch about that on that show. So if we get to that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
Is that a thing? Clear Jägermeister.
Okay. So Del, where can we find you?
You can find me here on the Owlite Network for Sunday shows and Monday shows. Coming up soon on the 15th, I will be having Ellen Datlow, famous editor. She puts together a lot of the best of horror, best of sci-fi, best of these kind of things type of anthologies. She is amazing. You can also find me over on Splash Pages on Tuesday nights. This upcoming tomorrow, we have Philip Kennedy Johnson, current writer for The Incredible Hulk, and also Crocodile Black, which is what we're going to be reading for tomorrow if you want to catch up on it. The final issue will be coming out next month, but it's a great, solid read. And if you want to find me in general, just instead of looking up Delphine, look up Carrie, Kari Sanders. If you happen to, oh, where'd I go? There I am. If you happen to see this, that is my avatar. So if you found that, you found me. And upon finding me, you shall see all of my links down there. I'm also in the show notes up or down below. I've been doing some writing. I've got a bunch of shit going on. That's me. And my lovely Ratatosker is always wherever I am.
Okay.
Beautiful shadow.
Friday, where can we find you?
At Outlet Network, at Faycore, at Friday with the Library in the Blue Box, and Jennifer Elliott is my author page.
Okay.
What about you?
With me, all you gotta do is find the number one Owlite impersonator. And
She is all of us.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
One of us, all of us, one of us, all of us.
Ron, where can we find you?
In the
Do you
closet.
really want to find me? Really? Do you really want to find me? Do you need to find me? I mean, is this a thing or people actually want to find me? Okay. I suppose you can find me on my author page on Facebook, Ronald W Gillespie Jr. -author, if you want to keep up with my whole writing progress and pseudo career. You can also find me on TikTok under @WolfDojo. I am a martial artist by trade. Sometimes, very rarely, occasionally, maybe, possibly, whenever I feel like it, make martial arts content for TikTok. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, then you can look it up there. Other than that, you can also find, over here somewhere, the awesome Jenniness, who will pass on your messages to me, and I'm sure that I'll respond whenever I'm not asleep and have nothing better to do with my time and not currently writing. Because, those messages are important to me.
I have your dad's leg. Does that count?
Poke him with the leg. He'll wake up.
Okay. And I am your humble servant, UncleNecRo. You can find me here getting angry at the severe lag going on here in the state of Nebraska and elsewhere. And also I'll just be sitting around the dark listening to hair metal recently. And until next time, spay new to your friends and get some help.
Don't be bashful.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Until we meet again.